I've got 6 perfect basketball drills for kids. These are dribbling drills for beginners that will allow them to take their handles next level fast. Coach Jesse Minshew with Get Handles Basketball, where I show you how to play like the pros. If that's something you're looking to do, make sure you click that subscribe button and that little bell icon so you can catch the newest videos the second they come out. One of the most overlooked keys to having a great handle is the ability to maneuver the basketball in the air. So for this first drill, we're going to work on that by having 2 cones set up about shoulder width apart right in front of our feet. We want the kid to get in a nice low stance and start dribbling in between the cones, on the other side of the cones, in, back out. Now it might look simple or easy, but for a beginner, this is gonna be tough because it's gonna work on their ability to maneuver the basketball while it's in their hand in air. Again, a much overlooked thing. And working on these different motions of pushing the basketball like this and pulling it back like this in air. Something that is very important in game situations where you need to move the ball to react to what's happening on the court, to react to defenders, but that doesn't really get trained too much in doing your crossover or your regular dribble, right? That little piece of the puzzle gets missing, and that's what's kind of the glue that puts a lot of the different moves together and allows them to work in games and make those tiny adjustments. So you would just have them rep this out just like this. Now, when they're starting, they might need to take 1 or 2 dribbles before they go to the next spot in between or outside the cones. That's okay, but try to push them out of that comfort zone as quick as possible. Because if they're taking 1 regular dribble here in between, it kind of eliminates these different hand motions and positions that we're trying to transition between quickly, okay? So push, 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 pull, pull, push, push, pull, pull, push, push, pull, pull, and then of course, gotta do it with the other hand, right? Get those handles down with each hand so they're equally effective with each hand, can attack with each hand. That's gonna double their options on offense. That's powerful stuff. This next drill is deadly for making a player's handles lethal. But before we get into it, if you really want to help your kid, or if you are the kid, take your handles next level fast, I got a free workout for you. Just click that top link in the description down below, pop in your email, I'll send that to you instantly for free. That's already thousands of players, and I'm sure it'll help you too. Just click that link, pop in your email, and I'll send it right away. This next drill is gonna help develop that float dribble. Now the float dribble basically means when the basketball's in the hand, your ability to kind of float with it while it's in hand. For this one, we're gonna do a slight variation. It's more of a pocket dribble, which with this one, you're gonna keep it a little tighter to the body, pull it back right behind the hip or just to the side of the hip. Hand just rotates behind the basketball like this, okay? Key tip is to make sure the hand doesn't come under the basketball though, because that is a carry, right? For this drill though, you need a line. Work on dribbling, pulling it back, dribbling, pulling it back, just like this. Okay, now when a kid is starting out, they might want to work on just coming forward and back in front of the line, kind of like the last drill with the cones, but a little bit different hand positions and motions, right? Coming forward, back. That's a great place to have them start, but once they start getting that down, try to have all the dribbles in front of the line, no dribbles behind the line, but pulling the ball back behind the hip, just like this, okay? What this is gonna open up is a ton of options, because from here, you can push the ball out to sell a fake. You can push the ball out to drive. You can also go into a shot fake hesitation. You can actually go into a shot. You can push the ball across for a crossover. There's all these different options, and since it's kind of tight to your body on this side, you can add that ball movement in all sorts of directions. Versus if it's out here, you can't push it out really that much further that way, right? So this opens up all those options. It's kind of like being in triple threat while off the dribble. Then you would do the same thing on the other side, just like this, okay? Pushing, pulling it back. Rep that out for about 1 to 2 minutes. Again, when they're starting, they can go forward, back, just like this, until they get the feel for that, then all in front of the line. This next drill is going to work on some of the most overlooked areas of handles that are very important, but before we get into it, click that like button if you're digging the video so far, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know if there's any other issues that maybe you're having, or if you're training a kid that they're having that you want me to try to help you out with, and if it's something I haven't covered on the channel, I'll try to make a video for you. This next drill works on 2 much overlooked things. Number 1, footwork, and specifically a pattern that players don't work on enough, which is the scissors, and also working on, again, ball positioning, being able to protect the basketball while going into their setups, driving, all that stuff. What we're gonna do with this is work on scissorsing the legs so they come and switch positions over a line. So again, you're gonna need a line. But the key point is, it's not this, it's both feet up, both feet down, same time. So if they're having a hard time getting the footwork down to begin with, just have them do this. Hop up and down, both feet up and down same time, and then just add these little steps. And then start bringing them apart a little bit more. Okay, that's the first step so they can get the footwork pattern down right. The second thing we want to pay attention to though when we're doing this is keeping the basketball behind the line. So what that allows them to do is as they're attacking or setting up for a dribble move, they got the basketball behind their hip here where it's more protected. And again, it's in this pocket position where they have more options. So going like this, continuing the dribble and switching leg positions like this. Again, keeping the ball behind the line. When the opposite foot is forward, it'll be a lot easier to keep it behind the line. It's the one where the same side foot comes forward where they'll probably have a tendency to want to push the ball forward. Have them work on keeping it behind the line and just switching the leg position to come in front of the line with one of the 2 feet. So it would just look like this, okay? And once they get better, they can work on improving that speed. And then of course we would do it with the other hand, right? Keeping that ball behind the line, scissoring those feet, trying to stay low to the ground and on the balls of the feet. Next drill, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna bring out the cones again, and we're gonna do something that brings in a little bit more tap dribble, something I don't typically have players do a lot of, but getting some work in on some tap dribbles allows the player to get a lot of repetitions in quickly. And a lot of players just aren't very good at dribbling down low here, which is important for those high traffic situations. But we're not just gonna do the typical tap dribbles where we go between the legs and we're standing in one spot. We wanna get some movement in the mix for this one. So you're gonna set up 2 cones a little bit more than shoulder width apart, dribble low, and we're just gonna figure 8 our body between the cones. And as you'll notice, my hand position has to change slightly as I'm going through these cones on how I'm dribbling the basketball. So they're working on those different transitions, working on being able to move in different directions and angles, forward, back, slightly 45 degrees back, 45 forward by doing this figure 8, coming one direction and then going the other direction with the same hand, okay? Just like this. If they can get their eyes up, even better. Try to have them use their peripheral vision to see the cones. That'll take it next level. Of course, they do this with the left hand and with the right hand, right? Same thing, weaving between the cones and then doing it the other direction, okay? About 5 or 6 times through this should be good. This next drill is gonna help develop 2 things a lot of players have problems with: getting an active off hand and getting a long, low first step so they can start beating defenders. All you wanna do is set up 2 cones so it's about a pretty decent sized lunging step forward. So 1 foot would be by this cone and 1 the other. Set up, crossover, step and touch the cone, okay? Now pay attention to the footwork though, that's key. We want the kid working on doing this so they cross over, step with this opposite foot of the hand that has the basketball, and then touch the cone. Come back to the other side, cross over, same thing. Notice when I dribble the basketball, the ball's also landing almost right in between the 2 cones, right about here when I'm dribbling. That's gonna keep the basketball protected. By touching the cone, I'm getting an active offhand. It's forcing me to bring the shoulders and the hips down a little bit more, which is part of a deadly first step, and it's making a long first step, which is great for getting past those bigger defenders, and it just makes that first step quicker. Trying to minimize the dribbles is one thing that'll help take it next level, so just going crossover, step, back, crossover, step, back. 3 dribbles. Then, once they get that down, have them work on doing it with the other foot. Crossover, step, but again, keep that ball back here so it lands in between these 2 cones. So you would cross over, same side foot as the hand that has the basketball takes the step. So that would look like this: crossover, step, crossover, step. That one's a little bit more advanced, so you'll want to have them work on the other one first, and then when they get that down, working on stepping with the same side foot as the hand that has the basketball. Finally, we want to work on the most overlooked move that pretty much, in my opinion, every kid should have, because a lot of times kids have problems with pressure defense, right? And when that happens, they'll throw a bad pass or pick up the dribble. But the spin move is something that if they have it down, now when the defender tries to pressure them, they can spin off of them and keep their dribble alive and open up options. And a lot of times just blow right by those defenders that try to play them tight. And if they start doing that, defenders will start giving a little bit more room to work with. So the first thing we want to make sure we're doing with this drill is that they're getting the spin move down right. Because a lot of times when I see kids do their spin move, they switch hands here and then push the basketball. Big no-no. Reason for that is if you're my defender and I switch hands here, you can easily get into the basketball as I'm going into the spin, steal it, and get an easy fast break layup. And I'm spinning around here trying to figure out what's happening. That is not gonna look very good. When this hand has the basketball, we wanna keep this front hand here, pull back, same side foot comes back, then switch hands, right? So when we're doing the spin move in this drill, we wanna set up a little more sideways at first so the kid can make sure they're getting it down. So they're gonna approach this cone so they're facing sideways, pull the ball back, switch hand positions, and then repeat with this one. Pull the ball back, switch hand positions. Going through it nice and slow, just making sure they're doing it right, pulling back, this foot comes back. So whichever hand's pulling the ball back, that same foot, then switch hands, okay? As far as the cone setup, I have 6 cones. You can use shoes, whatever. Something on the ground though to give them a marker so they're kind of zigzagging back and forth. I have them set up a long lunging step from each cone, okay? Same on this side, and have them about twice shoulder width apart. So this is kind of what it'll look like. Set up, spin, set up, spin, set up, spin, set up, spin, set up, spin. Okay, all the way through the cones, and then when they get the feel for it, up the speed, right? So boom, here, boom, here, boom, here, boom, here, boom, here. Last thing to have them do is use their peripheral vision. So if I'm gonna tack to this cone, I'm gonna be facing more this way, but I can see this cone out of the corner of my eye. Good tip that they can use to see the open court here and quickly get into it. So if you found these drills helpful and you want more ways to take your or your kids' handles next level, click that top link in the description down below. It's a 100% free workout called the Defenders Throw Workout. It's helped thousands of players improve their handles in as little as 4 minutes, and I'm sure it'll help you too. Just click that link, pop in your email. I send it to you instantly for free. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you click that subscribe button and little bell icon so you can catch the newest videos the second they come out. I'm sure they're gonna help you improve your game big time. And you'll probably also like this video and this playlist. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and make moves today.